So, within really the first 2 days of Joe Biden's presidency, and Joe Biden is the president, I don't refute that. Within the first 2 days of Joe Biden's presidency, he is taking serious actions that are really obviously problematic. And when I say problematic, I don't mean I don't like them. I mean there's just no reason for them. He's rescinded the Trump executive order dealing with Chinese communist involvement in our power grid. He's getting rid of the Keystone Pipeline, which is costing 10,000 jobs right now from Texas. He's taking these efforts to really, it seems like, return America to the 2016 time. And the thing is, when 2016 was happening, everyone sort of thought Trump's campaign was about nothing, that it was just loud, but it wasn't. It was about every major issue that had boiled up. And now, if you look at all the things we're talking about the Keystone Pipeline, we're talking about social issues, we're talking about energy independence, we are right back to all of the issues that were mainly discussed in 2016. And the reason for that is because within the last 4 years, nothing was solved mainly. Nothing was really addressed. All that happened was the Trump media obsession took everything over. So all the things that Republicans and conservatives were really upset about, like the way soldiers were being treated, it just got a little better under Trump. Nothing ever got solved. So now we're at a point where Joe Biden is talking about making sure that there's another stimulus, but down the road after impeachment, he's talking about the further need to rescind all the energy independent actions, building pipelines in the Middle East or taking in Middle East oil. He's not really getting involved in any of the things that we need him to get involved in. And my problem is Republicans are standing there and they're just sort of commenting on it. You know, Pete Buttigieg is sitting in front of Ted Cruz being asked questions as the transportation secretary nominee, and we are all sitting there like, but what are you doing to solve it? There has to be some action by congressional Republicans to at least seriously question the decisions that are being made right now. It's not the silly stuff. It's not the changes to the website. It's the loss of, if he continues to stop new oil and gas leasing on federal lands, you're looking at 120,000 jobs being lost from Texas. These are major problems. This is killing the economy. And congressional Republicans are sort of sitting around like, we'll sue him. You'll sue him for what? For using his constitutional authority to enact the agenda that he wanted that is very, very damaging? He's rescinding orders with insulin that Trump put in. He's rescinding orders with the EpiPen that Trump put in to lower the costs of it. It's over and over again. It is a steamroll. It's not just getting rid of Trump's accomplishments. It's getting rid of things that were making America secure. The issue with China being involved in our energy grid electrical grid is a really big problem. And congressional Republicans are still talking about like him not wearing a mask at the Lincoln Memorial. Yes, it's bad. It was bad optics. But there are major issues happening right now. And I don't really feel like we're even discussing as much as we should his idea that we should just get rid of Assad. That's the main focus for the next, 4 years of Middle East policy, that we should completely change our perspective in the Middle East, even though there's peace there for the first time in many years. So what you will see is the following situation. Jobs are gone from areas like Texas that have a very big appreciation for the military. Jobs are gone from these blue-collar areas. Then he's saying we have to go to war with these countries, we need to do peacekeeping, we need to do all this, all of which people like Bernie Sanders don't like, so I don't understand who he's making happy in that coalition. So you'll see people saying, well, I don't have a job in the oil area anymore, the pipeline jobs are gone, the union jobs are gone, like the ones laying the pipe, and the pipe layer union is very angry at Biden, so why don't I enlist in the military? And there you have Biden getting us involved in major military conflicts and job creating, but it's not really job creating. It's taking all those people in rural red areas or even suburban areas and places where they needed energy jobs, they needed blue-collar jobs, coal jobs, and taking them out of that environment and putting them into the military, not because necessarily they want to serve, but because they're desperate for health benefits and they're desperate to be able to feed their families and pay their mortgages. And even with things like insulin and things like the EpiPen situation, these are complex matters that you had to address, and Trump is trying to lower the drug prices, and now everything's back in because Biden's thought process on that is, we need to make sure he was doing it right. So instead of letting it go into effect in March, we're just stopping everything. That's the setup here. And for Republicans to even be entertaining, discussing the fact that we need to be focused on impeachment, you know what? If you want to do that, that's your business. But we have major, major problems right now, specifically with Biden's foreign policy, which nobody discussed in the campaign whatsoever. So with the foreign policy issue, if what happens, like I just said, happens, where you take away all the blue-collar jobs and you take away all the jobs from people in, Texas and all those areas, and then you say, well, I have this opportunity for you to serve your country, which most people want to do. They want to be patriotic. They want to serve their country. Why wouldn't they then go into the military? And then you have even more reason for Biden to keep pressing forward, because he'll say, look at the support the American people are throwing behind my foreign policy efforts, behind my war efforts. Look at how many people are enlisting. It's not because they support it. It's because there are no jobs left. So for congressional Republicans who are like sitting there talking about the fact that, he didn't wear a mask to the Lincoln Memorial, there were much bigger issues. And when he now, which he's now admitted to, bans fracking, what do you do in Oklahoma? What do you do in all these red areas, which Democrats don't care about anyway because they're not going to win? What you'll see is even more opioid addiction issues. You'll see that return even more, just like it did in New Bedford, Massachusetts, when all the industry went away. That's what you will see over and over again. So you'll see a country backsliding into drug addiction, relying on military membership as the main job because people have nothing anymore and they're patriotic and they want to serve their country. And from that, all Biden and his administration will say is, look at how many people support my efforts in the Middle East. Look at how many people are enlisting. It's not because they'll support it. It's because they need money to feed their families. So with the amount of executive orders Biden has been putting in so far, it's 17. Bush did under 10, Obama did under 10, Trump did under 10. In the first 48 hours, Biden's done over 17. People saying, oh, they're all about COVID. No, they're not. They're not all about COVID. And even Democrats on Twitter and in politics are saying things like, why is he doing all of this? Why is he doing it so fast? We thought this was going to be sort of like an ease in and all of this, and we were going to just, take a little step in and see what happened and try to build some unity. They were scammed. I don't know if Joe Biden scammed them. I don't know if he's been playing down his own abilities, or if they were scammed by the people they listened to who knew Joe Biden. But Joe Biden has absolutely no intention of doing anything in unity whatsoever. If you think unity is Cindy McCain walking around saying we have unity now, that's not unity. Cindy McCain is one of those privileged people on the planet. So why are we taking our cues and conservatism from people like Cindy McCain? Even Meghan McCain is angry about what's happening right now. Even Meghan McCain. So you all really need to think about that, and you need to be calling your senators and your members of Congress and saying to them, what you're seeing right now with this focus on impeachment, the only reason they want to impeach Trump again, unless they truly believe what happened was bad enough to impeach him, some people believe that, I could see why you'd think that, unless that's the reason, the only reason they want to do it is because they want to keep doing things like talking about pipelines in the Middle East and taking away the Keystone Pipeline and putting into effect social justice efforts through executive order, and you cannot legislate people's feelings, so I don't know why they think that's going to work. That's what they want. They want a living, breathing distraction. That's what the Trump impeachment hearings will be. So if Republicans think the solution is just to fundraise off them, it's not, because what are you going to do when 120,000 people in Texas no longer have their jobs and you see opioid addiction rising? Because that's what always happens when people have nothing. They look for a way to escape, even in the moment. And that is disastrous for what's happening right now. I accept that Joe Biden is the president of the United States. I even think Joe Biden won the presidency. But I do not accept that Republicans have no recourse to address any of these issues, and you shouldn't either. Good night, everyone. Please retweet this, share this, stream this. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter because Periscope is closing down, and I appreciate you all tuning in. Go ahead, email this if you'd like, and tell me what you think below. Good night, everybody.